This is the Score Podcast.
Welcome again to the Score Podcast, where we always speak to the most innovative groundbreakers in the financial services industry. It isn't every day that the CEO of one of the largest banks in the world calls out your startup in its quarterly earnings statements, but that's exactly what happened to this company. I'm Jeff Richardson, host of the Score Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Dan Seder, Chief Operating Officer of Bilt Rewards. Bilt is a consumer finance and rewards company centered around a person's largest expense. I'm talking about a person's rent payment. Dan, thanks for joining me today on the podcast.
Jeff, thanks for having me on. Excited to catch up.
So what's it like when the CEO of Wells Fargo touts your credit card on his quarterly earnings call, and why do you think he did that?
The short answer is just incredibly exciting. We've been working on this idea of how to make rent rewarding for almost 4 years. Our core mission has always been there are 106 million renters in this country, 600 million of rent spend, and yet nobody gets anything back for their rent. And what we set out to build was really the first truly valuable rewards program that I think gives renters three primary things. First, valuable reward points on their rent payment. Second, rent reporting that can meaningfully increase their credit score. And then third, payment flexibility for those who choose to sign up for the Bilt MasterCard that's issued by Wells Fargo. So there's been a ton of work that has gone into this. The Wells Fargo team has been absolutely amazing, innovative. Most fintechs go at it themselves. Wells has truly acted like a fintech. And, it's a real partnership that they think they can roll out to their 70 million retail customers.
Yeah, that is quite a way to launch a card. You mentioned something just now that was interesting. So we've talked quite a bit here on the podcast about rent reporting. You said something a little bit different. You said rent rewarding. So there's been a whole host of innovations in fintech companies out there trying to rent reports and see some sort of benefit on that payment in that respect. And that's all good. But Bilt is doing things a little bit differently, and you're actually getting more traditional rewards. So can you expand on that?
Only 5% or even fewer than 5% of renters today have their rent payments reported to the credit bureau. Close to 20% of the US population as a whole have very little established credit history. So on just the pure rent reporting side, I do think what people are doing out there can do a lot of good for consumers. There's really two core things that Bilt is doing differently than kind of the folks out there. First, we're the only platform that provides rent reporting to all three bureaus totally free to both renters and landlords. Right now, there's only a handful of platforms that even report to all three bureaus, and none of them offer for free to either the renter or the landlord. In addition to that, we're the only platform that also gives for every rent payment customers rewards that can be used for a wide variety of things, including travel, because there's a lot of millennials in this cohort. We have a number of fitness partners. And then we even create a unique housing redemption opportunity, which is customers can redeem the rewards they earn on rent for rent credit. They can even redeem it for a down payment on a home. So we really think this is a unique rewards offering that is both the reward side as well as the rent reporting side.
That last one is, I think, really innovative, where the rewards can be counted towards the down payment of a home. That's super cool. And you wonder if you're kind of cannibalizing your own user base. If you're super successful, will you even have any customers? But that's probably a problem you're willing to tackle. But why is this even new? How come you just can't put your rent on any credit card you might have in your wallet?
As it relates to why what many people say, when they hear the idea of Bilt, the first thing they say is, why has nobody ever done this before? Which is typically a good sign because it shows user engagement. But really, there's two reasons. One, the vast majority of landlords don't accept credit cards. And then the ones that do charge a 3% surcharge typically. It's really the one industry that passes on the cost of credit card processing onto the renter. And $1,000, $2,000 a month of rent, paying 3% is, highly prohibitive to renters to be able to use a credit card. And so we spent the better part of a year working with the team at MasterCard to create the first general purpose credit card, the Bilt MasterCard, that you can use to pay your rent and use it for all your other spend as well. And unique value prop there is for no annual fee, you get a MasterCard Loyalty and you earn 1x on rent, 2x on travel, 3x on dining. And, we're biased slightly, but we really do think, and I think a lot of the independent reviewers in the space would say it's a no-brainer for renters. And, we hope to expand to all customers.
So no brainer, but we always want consumers to do the due diligence. So how should consumers kind of think about this? Is it just kind of the same types of risks for any other credit card that might be out there?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think the Bilt Rewards website, we really tried to be detailed and thoughtful in our FAQs. This is a space that has more bloggers than you can name. So whether it be View from the Wing or the Points Guy or NerdWallet, funny enough, there's a ton of YouTube reviewers. So there's a lot of places folks should go and get an unbiased read on what the value of the Bilt MasterCard is and why people are so excited. But at the core, it's a general purpose credit card, and it just allows people to treat rent like any other one of their charges. And so instead of having your biggest monthly expense due on the first, you now get free payment flexibility in terms of you pay off your charges on your statement date, you earn rewards. So just really bringing all the other value you get from credit card charges to what is your biggest expense, all at no fee to either the landlord or the resident.
Got it. And I guess to give a little self-promotion, if you do need some tips on credit card applications and risks, you can check out VantageScore.com. But where should people go to check out Bilt?
At this point, almost all the major credit card reviewing platforms have covered it. So I would go to, I think, the one that folks know the best is the Points Guy. It's funny enough, I'm actually not a Points Guy coming into this. I've really spent a lot of time in the industry. So going to folks like View from the Wing. And then really for the millennial audience out there, TikTok and Instagram, there's some really cutting edge folks who will spend all day teaching you about the different credit cards and where Bilt Rewards fits into your spend profile.
Got it. And what's Bilt's website?
BiltRewards.com.
All right, Dan, let's end it there. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jeff.
According to TransUnion, 7 in 10 renters are more likely to make on-time rent payments if management companies reported payments to the credit bureau. So why aren't more landlords lining up to report their tenants' rental payments to the bureaus? I suspect it's equal parts inertia and a concern about litigation or regulatory risk. But consumers, why not get rewards for what is most likely your biggest payment obligation of the month? But do your homework. Applying for any type of credit card comes with some risk. Thanks for listening to The Score, and I look forward to our next discussion.
The views and opinions expressed in this episode do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of VantageScore Solutions.
Visit VantageScore.com to learn more.